Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan Lags and welcome back to the second channel. Guys, today we're going to be doing my first video on Call of Duty World War II since its official release. We did a couple beta videos, but we're here for the full game now. So this video I'm going to talk about what I feel about the game, some thoughts about how it's playing so far and all that stuff, kind of give my impressions for the full release. I wanted to wait until I got a decent amount of playtime on the game before I kind of gave out all these opinions. I just finished my first prestige. Well, no, I guess I just hit first prestige on multiplayer. So I have a good amount of playtime in. I went through a whole prestige, so I kind of know how this game plays at this point. So I want to talk about it. Before we get into any of the multiplayer, though, let's talk about the campaign and the zombies. The campaign for me so far is a 9 out of 10. Absolutely love it. It starts off with a bang. You just go right up D-Day. First mission, right off the boat. So I thought that was a really cool way to just jump right on in. And I've played a few missions for the campaign so far, and I've absolutely loved it. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 is just because I haven't finished it. So, we'll see. Maybe when I'm done, I'll absolutely think it's the best COD campaign ever, but so far so good. As far as the zombies is concerned, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. This might seem like a super high score, but gonna be honest, I think the zombies in this game is pretty damn amazing. I thought Sledgehammer Games nailed the zombies. It's got kind of like that similar, it's got that old school zombie vibe, maybe like Black Ops 1, World at War, but with way better optimization, and the zombie, it's actually like almost like a horror movie in how it plays. The zombies try to jump scare you. There's like spikes in the music when you do like a quick 180 and there's a zombie in your face. I love how they added kind of like a horror aspect to it. And it really puts you in kind of like that dark, zombies vibe while you're playing. And then you have objectives that you can complete as you're playing through the game that are very clear. The instructions are clear, so it's not like one of those like insanely complicated Easter eggs that you have no idea where to even begin. There's actually like instructions as what you can do as you go through the game. I absolutely love the zombies so far. The Final Reich, which is the first map. So I probably will be buying the DLCs to play the new zombie maps because the first one knocked it out of the park for me. Absolutely love the zombies. Sledgehammer nailed it on that front. So let's talk about the multiplayer now. In its current state, I'm giving the multiplayer a 6 out of 10. I know that's a pretty low score, but I really want to like the game. Like, I want it to be great because I like Call of Duty a lot, and I want Call of Duty to be as good as it can possibly be. But right now, in its current state, the multiplayer has just a laundry list of problems. It's got so many problems, like I can't even count how many problems it has. And I'm not really even going to discuss the connectivity issues and things like that were plaguing the game for the first week. And those things are still, causing problems, but pretty much for like the first 2 days of the game, the servers were pretty much down. So I'm not going to talk about that stuff because I expect all those connectivity problems are due to the incredible amount of volume on the game. A lot of people are coming back to Call of Duty because it's boots on the ground again. And then also the headquarters mode is definitely a new feature to Call of Duty that I think is causing some problems in terms of player connectivity. So I believe that Sledgehammer Games will iron those things out, and we shouldn't have any connection problems as severe as they were in week 1 going forward. But as far as the actual game itself, there's just so many things that are wrong with it. And today, instead of just kind of going down a list and complaining about all the things that I don't like about the game, I'm going to say those things, but I'm going to offer some solutions, and then I'm going to say how likely it is for those things to be resolved. So let's just start off with the maps, okay? So the maps, there's only 9 of them in the base multiplayer, and then you also have 3 war maps, okay? So 9 maps is probably the least we've ever had at launch in Call of Duty. However, I think it is fair to say that there are technically 12 maps because of the 3 war maps, but we're just going to talk about the 9 base maps. We'll talk about war in a minute. I wouldn't mind if there was only 9 maps in the game if all the maps were top tier. If we had, a jungle, a firing range, a upheaval, castle, cliffside. If we had some really great maps, but the maps in this game are really mediocre at best, and a lot of them are actually dreadful. So, USS Texas, Saint Marie du Mans, Gustav Cannon. There's a couple others that are just absolutely dreadful. I don't like London Docks either. The problem is there's only 9 maps, and at least half of them are pretty terrible, and you just dread when they pop up in the rotation. So I think that since the maps have been gotten such negative feedback with the community, I think that Sledgehammer Games should release the first DLC for free. And the likelihood of that happening is 0. So let's move on. The maps are, it's a little unfortunate that the maps aren't like top tier. Like I was hoping that this game was going to have great maps since it's a World War II setting. But really the only maps in the game that I like are Ardennes Forest and Gibraltar. I might be missing one that I think is decent. But those are really the 2 maps that pop up in the playlist. And I'm like, alright, I like this. So I can play these maps. I enjoy these maps. But the other 7 are either just meh or, you know, dreadful, basically. So let's talk about War for a minute, because this is one of the positives of the game. I think War is the absolute best part about the multiplayer in this game, without a question. I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea, and I think they should add something like this to every COD moving forward. It's a super heavy objective game mode that doesn't affect your kill-death ratio, so everybody's running for the objective, and it is so fun. And that's pretty much what I've been playing, for the most part. And that's also due to domination being broken, but we're going to get to that in a little bit. War is amazing. All 3 maps on it I like. One of them is the D-Day Rush. We have Operation Breakout from the beta, and then Operation Griffin. So, I mean, they're all really fun to play. It's super objective heavy. You know, everybody's just running at it. No one cares. No one's camping. You know, it's great. Absolutely love War, and that's definitely the best part of the game, without a doubt. So I have no complaints on that. That's a big thumbs up from me. As far as domination is concerned, so moving on to some game modes. Domination in this game is terrible. I mean, I don't know why they have to fiddle with things that have been super effective in the past. Domination in this game, you only get 50 points for a kill, and you only get 150 points for a flag cap. In Black Ops 3 and pretty much every Call of Duty before that, you got 100 points for a kill, and you have 200 points for a flag cap, and 200 points for a flag cap kill. This allowed kill streaks to be a thing. In this game, not only are the kill streaks pretty pedestrian to begin with, so even if you get a paratroopers in this game, it might only get you 3 to 4 kills, like, on a good day. Like, I think I've had 1 paratroopers that got, like, 8 kills, but that was a complete anomaly. You might as well be playing bare bones when you're playing Domination. I've played a couple matches of Domination, and there was one game I played where not a single UAV was called the entire game. I was actually listening to try to, like, see how often kill streaks were coming in. I didn't hear a single kill streak the entire game besides a Molotov cocktail. I mean, that's ridiculous. They need to change Domination to 100 points per kill, 200 points per cap, so people can actually get kill streaks, because kill streaks is what makes Call of Duty great. The 2 cores, the 2 major, actually there's 3 major pillars of Call of Duty multiplayer to make it great. Number 1 is good maps. Number 2 is good kill streaks that you can obtain. Keyword obtain, because I think the kill streaks in this game are decent enough. They could use some buffing, but you can't get them. Like, you can get them in TDM, but by the time you get them in TDM, the game's pretty much over, because it only goes to 75 kills. So that's ridiculous. They need to up TDM to 100. That's just a whole nother can of worms. We'll talk about that later. And then, as far as the 3rd pillar, that's weapon balancing. So, I'm going to be honest, weapon balancing in this game I think is pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Like, there isn't one gun that I look at and I'm like, holy moly, this gun is just stupidly strong. The BAR is like what a lot of people are saying is the best gun in the game, and I definitely agree with that. It just got nerfed, but it's still really good. And I thought the FG42 was really good as well, but they nerfed that thing pretty severely, so it's not that good anymore. But yeah, it's interesting how they did it. I think the weapon balancing is pretty good. I think they could buff the submachine guns a little bit. I think they could buff the LMGs a little bit, maybe a couple of the shotguns. Although the incendiary rounds, the shotguns make them pretty good. But the ARs are pretty good. I mean, honestly, there's just a couple tweaks here and there, and I think the weapon balancing is pretty solid. But as far as the 3 pillars, 2 of them are not there, and that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. And then there's hundreds of other problems that I can go into. The combat record is broken. It doesn't show. It doesn't give you a list of how many of your most used weapon. It just gives you a list of the weapons, and then you have to scroll through them to see which one is your most used. It doesn't give you it in order. No one else can see your combat record, so what's the point of having one if no one else can see it? Inside the pregame lobby, you can't check other players' stats, and the pregame lobby is like super complicated anyway, just because of the fact that you know, you have to actually like click into somebody's name to see who's in the lobby. It's just like so different. Lobby leaderboards I don't even think are in the game right now, but I could be wrong. They might have re-added those. The interface overall is pretty slow. The 1v1 arena in headquarters is completely broken. It affects your KD, but only your deaths. So basically, if you want your KD to go down, go play the 1v1 arena. Because I played like 50 games of 1v1 against Tyler, and I checked my KD and it went down like 45 points. Like I was at like a 3.0 and it dropped all the way to like a 2.5. And I was like, okay. So they haven't fixed that yet. The play of the game algorithm is pretty terrible. It pretty much gives you double kills every time. Like I'll be popping triple kills in TDM, and the final kill cam will be a double kill. So I don't know what the deal is with that. The mini map is terrible. It's way too small. There's somebody could be 15 feet in front of you, and you would have no idea. Like even with the UAV up, they have to be probably within 5 feet of you for them to finally appear on your map. It's ridiculously small. They need to change that. And as far as the basic training and like the whole division system goes, I think it's refreshing. I like the change, but it's still super broken. I mean, you only get one basic training, and there's so many crutch basic trainings that you need. And for example, the primed basic training gives you reduced flinch. You pretty much need that. Like you can't play against other players if you're getting flinched all over the place. And that's a basic training, so you have to fill your slot with that. In my opinion, they should make it so there's two basic. You can put on 2 basic training perks. I think that would perfectly balance it, because then you can get a little bit more customization to your class instead of just being pretty much forced to use primed because of the flinch. So that's what I would do. Either that or reduce the flinch. One or the other. I honestly think that even for the competitive scene, adding 2 basic trainings instead of just 1 would vastly improve the competitive scene. Because right now the pro players, they have to choose between getting flinched, getting blown up by nades, or being able to get sound horde because they don't have dead silence. So they have to choose right now, and that's ridiculous. They should definitely make it so you can have 2 basic trainings. I can't imagine why they, like, that's one of those things where they should definitely be able to add that. Like the likelihood of them adding that should be like 100%. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not gonna expect them to give us free maps. Like I'm not gonna expect them to change domination or, you know, buff the kill streaks, because that's just how they want the game to be. But certain things like that, like they can do that, and that would help with the game balance. But I mean, that's pretty much the reason why I give the game a 6 out of 10. I really actually like the core of the game has so much potential. You know, if they buff the kill streaks, a couple better maps, maybe just a little bit better balancing with like the division system, and you have yourself a really good game. Even like in its current state, it's definitely a playable game. It's definitely playable. I can still enjoy playing it, but like boy oh boy, man, there is just a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues that need to be ironed out. But I have some hope that they will be ironed out, and the game will continue to improve and improve and improve as more patches come out. So right now it's a 6 out of 10. I hope that it improves. Over the overall game though, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 because of the campaign and the zombies and the potential of improvement for the multiplayer. So, but the multiplayer right now is a 6 out of 10 for me, just because of all the problems it has. So that's going to wrap it up, guys, for my World War II impressions. Definitely a little negative, but you know, I'm trying to see the positives in the game, and hopefully that they'll continue to work on it and improve it, because I truly believe that the game has a lot of potential to be great. It's just not quite there yet. So thank you guys for watching my first video here on Call of Duty World War II. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some gameplay. I was playing some War because that game mode is just so fun. That's pretty much what I play. I'm gonna play that until they fix domination or they buff the streaks, because War is super fun and it's great for XP as well. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been Dan Lags. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.